Welcome back to the cryptoworld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now I am out of my Bitcoin long position because right now a massive bearish reversal signal is flashing on this Bitcoin chart, while the price is now confirmed to break below critical support, while Ethereum is actually flashing a new signal in the short term that we need to pay attention to. So I'll be talking about all of that and so much more later in the video, so definitely watch to the end. First of all, just before we take a look at the Bitcoin charts, we need to talk about the Bitcoin news today because on Thursday, we actually saw a decent sized net outflow from the spot Bitcoin ETFs. This time around, it was a net outflow of over $200 million, nearly $250 million leaving the Bitcoin ETFs just on Thursday. And so the Bitcoin ETFs, at least at the moment, are actually causing a decent amount of sell pressure because just in this one trading day right here, we saw over $200 million worth of Bitcoin dumped on the market. And so at least for now, once again, this is simply putting some bearish pressure on the price of Bitcoin while we're seeing these decent sized net outflows. But if we're taking a look at the Bitcoin chart, looking at the 4-day Bitcoin chart, and as of right now, this chart has actually not really changed all that much over the last one day. At least for now, the Bollinger Bands are still squeezing together with the Bollinger Bands width indicator still at this low area on the chart in between around 15 to 20 in the Bollinger Bands width indicator. And so at least as of right now, the next major volatile move in the price of Bitcoin on the larger timeframes here, so looking at the much larger moves in the market, the next volatile move has not even begun because we have not even seen any significant uptick here in the Bollinger Bands width indicator, which basically means the Bollinger Bands have not begun their expansion. And so for all we know, we could still just be within a larger sideways consolidation, basically seeing short-term pullbacks and short-term pumps to the upside, which on slightly smaller time frames look like short-term bearish trends and short-term bullish trends. And so once again, we have not even seen the next volatile move in the price of Bitcoin even begin, but it will likely begin at any moment now, potentially at some point within the next few weeks, simply based on these previous examples, these previous signals. And if you want to know more about this chart right here, if you're new to the channel, then check out my last couple of videos here on the channel, because in those videos, I talked a little bit more in detail about this chart right here. And if we're taking a look at this 3-day Bitcoin chart, we can see right now the price of Bitcoin is obviously struggling to complete the formation phase for this massive inverse head and shoulders pattern. And as I've been saying this entire time, in order to actually confirm the pattern to flip much more bullish, we need to first confirm a breakout above this neckline, which is sitting at around 71.7k. And as I've been saying, we ideally need to see a breakout above around 73 to 74,000 in order to actually start flipping much more bullish here on the larger time frames and expecting a massive price target up here at around 80 to 90,000. But once again, just to reiterate, and as I've been saying every single day over the last 1 to 2 weeks, we first need to see a confirmed breakout above this neckline in order to actually set up that bullish scenario. So as of right now and this entire time, that bullish scenario and that bullish price target in this pattern right here has not been confirmed. They have not been in play. And once again, unless we see a bounce back to the upside very soon in the coming days, then it is quite likely that if, for example, we continue this short-term pullback or even just consolidate sideways here for multiple weeks from now, then it's very likely that this pattern will not even complete at all unless we see some sort of bounce very soon. And with that being said, taking a look at this daily Bitcoin chart, and as I've been warning about, basically every day over the last 1 week, we're actually experiencing a decent bounce back to the upside here in the DXY, and just over the last 1 day, this has bounced further to the upside, setting a new higher high in place, and now confirming a new higher low, which is technically a bullish reversal signal for the DXY, which is a bearish reversal signal for Bitcoin. Because as we can clearly see on this chart right here, time and time again, when the DXY is trending back into the bullish direction, that is almost always bearish for Bitcoin, and vice versa, when the DXY is trending in the bearish direction, that is almost always bullish for Bitcoin. And once again, I've been warning about this happening basically every day over the last 1 week, but just over the last 1 day, we have now officially confirmed a breakout above these previous highs and also forming a higher low in the DXY, which is a bearish reversal signal for Bitcoin. And when I'm talking about the trends on the daily time frame right here, I'm talking about the shorter term bullish and bearish trends here on the daily chart, which can sometimes last for a few weeks or sometimes up to a few months. But when we're zooming out to that 4-day time frame, looking at the bigger picture, those shorter term bullish and bearish trends make up the much larger bullish trend, also known as the bull market. And so it is possible that we could experience a bit of a short-term bearish trend for Bitcoin here, possibly in the coming days or weeks, maybe even over a month with a bearish price action like what we saw just here. But that is possible even during a bull market on the larger timeframes. And so ultimately for the bull market to actually continue, we simply just need to hold above this previous low, which if we're looking at the candle closes right here on the 4-day time frame is sitting at around $60,000, or if we're looking at the actual candle wick low, that's sitting at around 56,000. So obviously if we broke below that low right there on the larger time frames, then that would clearly be a trend reversal signal on the larger time frames, pointing towards potentially the end of the bull market if we actually broke below around 56,000, which obviously right now has not happened. And so overall, we have not actually confirmed the end of the bull market or anything like that. So as of right now, we're technically still remaining within a larger bull market on the larger time frames here, technically speaking. But if we're taking a look at the daily time frame, we could be in for a bit of a short-term bearish trend that could potentially last for a matter of weeks. And if we're taking a look at this daily Bitcoin chart, obviously just yesterday, we officially confirmed the previous daily candle close below 67,000. And basically the moment we confirmed that daily candle close below 67,000, we continued further to the downside as expected. Because like I've been saying here on the channel, if we confirm a daily candle close below 67,000, expect a further pullback, expect more bearish price action in the short term, which is exactly what has happened just here. We have seen a further pullback, and as of right now, we're potentially moving towards this area, which should act as support based on previous resistance and support sitting in between around 63 to 64,000. And below that area, we should also find a lot of support at around 60 to 61,000 and a lot more support down towards around 58,000 and 56,000. So we still have a lot of support to the downside here, but just in the immediate short term, technically we're looking more bearish than bullish in terms of the momentum and the shorter term trend, at least for now. And for the bulls out there, the only way we could possibly flip much more bullish again in the short term, basically in terms of the trend and momentum, is if we very quickly reclaim this area on the chart. So if we very quickly in the next couple of days confirm daily candle closes back above 68,000, then it's possible this could just be a fake out to the downside and we actually come back into this sideways price range. But that is only if we confirm those bullish signals. But for now, based on the signals that have actually confirmed, we are looking more bearish than bullish, at least for now. And especially if we find a resistance in this range in between 67 to 68,000, that would also be another bearish signal if we reject from that area. But if we're zooming into the imminent short term, looking at the 4-hour Bitcoin chart, right now the price is still potentially forming this new bullish divergence in the short term, with lower lows in the price of Bitcoin in the 4-hour candle closes and higher lows in the 4-hour Bitcoin RSI. But like I mentioned in my last video, even though we had a previous bullish divergence forming on that 3-hour time frame, as I said yesterday, that was not actually confirmed. And right here, even though this bullish divergence is forming and flashing as a signal on the chart, it is not yet confirmed. Because in order to confirm this pattern, we need to actually confirm the higher low in place in the RSI by seeing at least a couple of green candle closes here confirm in the price action, because by default, the RSI is based off candle closes. And if we do see those confirmation signals, some green candles confirming here in the price, then essentially we're most likely going to see either some choppy sideways price action or perhaps a slight bullish relief just over the next couple of days, possibly over the weekend. Because as we can see in these areas on the chart right here, these are the previous weekends, and usually over the weekend we see relatively low volatility. And in contrast, if we're looking at the weekdays during the week, that is usually where we see a lot of volatility, as we've just seen over the last 1 week. And so I would not be surprised if we potentially confirm some sort of bullish divergence within the next day or so, and then possibly over the weekend, the price kind of chills out for a little bit just over the weekend, and then next week we might see more volatility. But when it comes to my Bitcoin trading strategy right now, as I've been sharing very transparently here on the channel, I did previously have a Bitcoin long position, which I began entering into that position right around here and added more to that position here and also just recently. But the entire time, basically ever since around here, I moved my stop loss further into profits as I shared here on the channel. And I also took profits from that trade around here as we were running into resistance, and also a lot of profits around here, and I took a lot of profits around here because we were also running into critical resistance at around 72,000. Because of course resistance has the possibility of stopping the price going further to the upside. That is where the price is most likely going to struggle at, exactly as we saw at 72,000. So that's why I took profits at those levels. And as of right now, I am indeed out of that Bitcoin long position. So as you can see right here, this is just a $1 trade just to show you the position, but basically I've closed the trade at this point. And as you can see right here, despite the recent dump in the price of Bitcoin, I still come away with decent profits from this trade. As I've been sharing day by day here on the channel, this is the importance of risk management. And so even in the worst case scenario, if the price just moves completely in the other direction as what you're hoping, even in the worst case scenario, you still want to make sure that you're still okay. And so once again, this was essentially the worst case scenario for a long position, at least towards the end of the position. But even with this happening, I still come away with around half a Bitcoin profits, around 30,000 US dollars. And so if you also followed along with this trade, you should have made a decent amount of profits here, obviously depending on your position size. But as always, I will be sharing any future trades that I make here on the price of Bitcoin and any other crypto as well. So make sure you subscribe to this channel with notifications turned on so that you don't miss out on any of these important update videos where I openly and very transparently share these trading strategies that can potentially make a lot of easy money. And while we're waiting for the next trading opportunity, you might as well get set up ready to go on this exchange, which I'm actually trading on, which is Bybit. So I'll make sure to leave a link to Bybit down below this video in the description and in the pinned comment. And if you use that link down below this video to make a Bybit account and deposit on that account, then you can get up to a $30,000 deposit bonus, but only if you use that link down below this video. And also, if you use that link, it'll take you to this page right here where you can claim an exclusive 200 USDT airdrop position just by making a Bybit account using that link, making a deposit and claiming their airdrop. And so if you're going to be trading crypto anyway, preparing for the next trading opportunity, you might as well get set up ready to go over on Bybit using that link if you want to claim these extra bonuses. But for whatever reason, if you cannot access Bybit or if you cannot KYC on Bybit, there is also Bitflex, which is another crypto exchange similar to Bybit, but you don't need KYC for Bitflex. And so I'll also make sure to leave a link to Bitflex down below this video as an alternative crypto exchange. And if we're taking a quick look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, we can clearly see over the last one day, the price of Bitcoin did indeed grab that liquidity to the downside, which I hinted at in my last video. I said the price may actually grab that liquidity to the downside before heading in the next direction. And so obviously that's exactly what happens. The price moved below that area of liquidity, which was sitting at around 66,000 give or take, and just below 66,000 to basically liquidate a lot of late long positions that were perhaps late to this Bitcoin trade that I entered right down here. And so as of right now, those positions have been wiped out with those liquidation levels at around 66,000, but we still have more liquidity at around 64,500 to 65,000 that we need to pay attention to. And as for upside liquidity, we also still have a lot of liquidations at around 70,500 give or take. But obviously, as of right now, that would require quite a decent bounce back to the upside and obviously a breakout back above this area, which at least for now should act as new resistance. And if we're taking a look at Ethereum on the daily time frame, obviously over the last one day, Ethereum simply followed along with what Bitcoin was doing with that short-term pullback, and we did actually break below this 38.2% Fibonacci level of support, which was sitting at around 3480 approximately. And so we do have this 50% retracement level acting as support at around 3350 give or take. And so far, the price has bounced almost exactly at that level, around $10 give or take from that level of support, that retracement level. But in a more bearish scenario, if the price actually broke below around 3340 to 3350, then in that case, the next major area of support is sitting in between around 3170 to 3220. But if we're taking a look at the 4-hour time frame, zooming into the short term, we can see a new signal flashing on the chart, which is also a bullish divergence similar to Bitcoin on the 4-hour time frame, with lower lows forming and lower lows actually confirmed in the price in the candle closes and higher lows forming in the RSI on the 4-hour time frame. But once again, like I said for Bitcoin earlier in the video, we still need to confirm that higher low in place in the RSI by confirming at least a couple of green candle closes here in the 4-hour time frame in the price action. And by doing that, that will confirm a higher low in place in the RSI with a bounce back to the upside in the RSI. And once we see those confirmation signals, then we can actually flip a little bit more bullish just in the imminent short term, as in over the next 1 day. But obviously, I'll not be expecting a massive pump to the upside just based on this pattern alone, because usually a bullish divergence plays out in the form of either a slight bullish relief or some choppy sideways price action as the most likely outcome. But once again, only if it first confirms. But I would not be surprised if we do end up confirming some sort of bullish divergence in the shorter term for Bitcoin and Ethereum over the next 1 day or so. And so basically over the weekend, the price can settle down a little bit after this massive pullback right here. Because once again, usually over the weekends, we see lower volatility. And if we're taking a look at ETH BTC, this is Ethereum versus Bitcoin on the weekly time frame, and at least as of right now, Ethereum is still looking bearish against Bitcoin, which basically means whatever Bitcoin is doing, Ethereum is doing slightly worse. And as I've said over and over again here on the channel, that would only reverse. We can only start expecting Ethereum to outperform Bitcoin if we see a confirmed breakout here on this chart above this line of resistance at least, and ideally above some previous highs to actually confirm more of a bullish trend reversal, which as of right now has not happened. And if we're taking a look at Solana on the 12-hour time frame, obviously the moment we broke below 160, well, around a day after we broke below $160, we quickly saw a move down towards this area of support, which is what I talked about all the way back up here. I said if we break 160, expect a move fairly quickly down towards this area in between around 140 to 144. And that's pretty much exactly what has happened as expected. And at least for now, we're still finding support at around 140, give or take. But if we actually break below this level of support right here at around 140, then in that case, we could potentially see a further move to the downside into this area, sitting in between 120 to 128, which should also act as major support. And as for resistance, basically we should find resistance at around 160 as we actually saw right here. And if we break below 140, then this area of previous support should become new resistance. And in terms of the short-term trend and momentum, obviously it's been very clear from the moment we started to break well below 160 that the short-term trend and momentum is clearly bearish, at least for now. But either way, if you want to trade these moves in the price of any crypto, once again, check out those links down below this video to claim those extra bonuses. And if you want to actually know how to trade crypto, no matter if the price is bullish, bearish, or chopping around sideways, you can make money in all of that price action by watching these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how you can profit from bullish or bearish price action using long positions or short positions. And the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.